Hi there, got some more from Zoids, KZ from Cape Town. How you doing? How you doing? Ain't this a familiar sight? Now for somebody who's got a pair of pillars like this, it's not a problem. But it can get tedious depending on what juice you are mixing. Now there are few juices, especially your desserts, which need a lot of time to steep though. And yeah, this could help. Leaving it in a cupboard could help, but it would be nice if you could speed up the process. And I met during this lockdown period an ex-smoker, now vapor, Nico Libber. Spoke about him a few times already. Made the drip tip for me, made a few anti-stains. Awesome stuff. And I knew this guy has got what it takes. So I asked him, listen, what is the chance he could make a homogenizer which would fit on a Dremel? Now if you don't know what a Dremel is, this is a Dremel. Okay, what you've got over there. All I've got is I've just got the extension cord for the Dremel, so making it convenient to use as a mixer. So anywho, so what he did is he came up with this McGaffey. Let me quickly show you. Just assemble this guy. Now it is an homogenizer. Now we will, when we go down close up to actually show you the various components of this though, I will talk about how this thing actually functions. But I did a search on Google. I couldn't find any homogenizers that, first of all, is available in South Africa on the scale for a do-it-yourselfer that just wants to mix Ejuice and get the steeping process, or just to get ahead of the steeping process. And then he designed this, and this fits on the Dremel head, so you can actually speed up the Dremel and then use this guy to mix your juice, to homogenize your juice. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to mix a juicy vanilla custard, 10 milligrams free base, so that I can use it in my MTL devices. And we're going to demo this. Have a look at this. Let's check it out. Alright, so here is the homogenizer which Nico Libber has created. Now if you're wondering what is the purpose of homogenizing, or what is homogenizing, it is basically if you blend or mix or disrupt or emulsify or disperse a juice, a mixture, which you compile. And while doing that though, the whole purpose of that is to basically create a uniform mixture regarding particle size, so that you can have the same composition, structure or character throughout your whole juice, making it nice, consistent, stable, and even increasing the longevity in the process though. Now the type of homogenizer which this is called a Rota Stator homogenizer. It falls under the category of mechanical homogenizing. But basically what it does is it consists of a fast spinning inner rotor, which is this component over here, which is being kept in position by Teflon. In this case, which Nico used, is Teflon bushings, which he has got on the inside. So there's one situated right in the position of that grub screw, keeping it in place. And then you'll see another grub screw at the back there, keeping the other one in place on the inside. So yeah, this is a solid stainless steel shaft. This is what is called the stator. Now you do get, if you don't buy this, you actually do get your shaft component and your stator head as two separate ones. When we go back up, I'll actually show you photos. But what Nico did is he basically made a solid stator head and the shaft in a single basically mill, put it that way. So yeah, but you get a whole variety of these stator heads which can differ in shapes. In this specific case, he made it these specific size holes, and there's also a reason why those holes are a specific size. Then you will also see two additional holes. Now that hole which you actually see over there, it's basically just to pull in some juice to lubricate the bushings which are in the inside. Alright, and the hole at the top though is to equalize the pressure on the inside, because if you do not have that hole, then the juice is going to be sucked up all the way up the tube and actually into the Dremel itself, which you do not want. That guy at the top over there is basically a pressure release which you have there. And then what I also did is I said his rotor shaft, which he's got there, is his rotor head. He actually made separate, that it actually screws onto your shaft component. And the rotor head can also be a variety of styles, but this is the style he actually went for. Now remember, this is a prototype, so obviously there is some refining to be done on this still, but I think it is excellent for a first prototype. And this is the guy which we will actually demonstrate. Right, so now if we want to attach this to our Dremel, what you do is follows. You actually just remove this rotor shaft, get off the rotor head from the shaft, unscrew that portion, leave that guy. Then you're going to take your Dremel head which you have. You will see it's got a connector over there. You are just going to press in that button and just unscrew this portion there that you need to remove. This you're not going to use. The reason why we do that is because if you have a look over there, you'll see there's threading on the inside, and that threading is actually going to go onto there. Okay, so but before you do that though, keep the button pressed in, and then you just loosen this tip which you have, and then you press in that rotor shaft, and then you just tighten it. Okay, what I'm going to use is what I like is my Leatherman, and you just give it a nice tighten. There you go. That's more than sufficient. More than sufficient. And then what you're going to do is you're going to place this shaft very carefully by pushing that rotor shaft on the inside carefully through those bushings which is got in place over there. And then there you go. And then you just screw that on top. So this portion is going to be static, and your rotor shaft on the inside is the only one that's actually going to turn. And all you need to do now is just take this guy and screw it onto the rotor shaft itself. There you go. There you go. And then the first portion you can just basically do with a hand, and obviously keep this button pressed in at the back over there so that your rotor shaft does not move. And then just take a pair of pliers just to tighten this guy on the inside, nice and taut. So now you'll see, if you switch on the Dremel though, you'll actually see that your rotor head is going to start rotating. Alright, and there you have it. And it can go faster and faster and faster. So what's going to happen now, as soon as you switch this guy on, juice is going to be drawn in through the bottom though, and then by that rotor blade on the inside, because of it spinning so quick and forcing out the juice on the sides of these holes, you are going to break it up into smaller particles, basically increasing the consistency of this homogeneous mix which you are going to create. So let's just quickly mix up a batch of vanilla custard and test this guy in it. Right, so what I'm going to make now is 100 milliliters of 10 milligrams of free base vanilla custard. So we're going to add our different flavorings first of all. Then I'm going to add PG, and then I'm going to add VG, which I heated up in a porcelain cup before the time, just for 20 seconds inside the microwave. It just thins out the VG and makes it easier to mix though, makes it just a quicker process than that. Just bear in mind, do not add your nicotine now. Your nicotine you're going to add after you homogenized, because the process is going to degrade your nicotine and affect the taste of your juice. Okay, first ingredient. 6 mils of this goodness. Right, so the VG I just heated up in the microwave. It's going to be approximately 45 milliliters which I've got in here. So just put it in for 20 seconds though. Just to not totally warm it up, just to make it lukewarm. And here we're going to need 44. There you go. Alright, so when you're going to put your homogenizer inside the juice now, as I said, just be careful that you do not cover that hole at the back over there. That hole needs to be open. So your juice level needs to be between those two holes over here. Alright, because basically some juice is going to be pulled in there, but that is to just cool down the Teflon guys on the inside, and that hole needs to be a pressure release for air release. So yeah, just operate it through that portion. Alright, so now what you can do is you can add your nicotine. There you go. Sweet bananas. Put on your cap. And then just shake in your nicotine. But you can see at this color that this thing definitely has been mixed thoroughly. And that is the Homogenizer, locally produced by Nico Libber from Goodwood. Any of you guys are interested, you can just Facebook Louis Kaiser Fourie, or just Kaiser. I don't think there's any other Kaisers. You should be able to see my beautiful face and just click on my profile, send me a message, and I will get you in contact with Nico. This thing is so popular. If you know a website called vapingunderground.co.uk in England, then you should know there is a guy that's been working on a homogenizer, and he has actually completed it, and he's busy making it for people now, and it's called a Game Changer. And I saw that though, and that's why I thought about, but why don't we produce it locally? Because that guy is selling it for up until about £400, I think. All right, or say, let's say argumentative sake, £250. Okay. And if you wanted to order one of those things, you still had to get it over here for shipping as well. So this thing could be landed you around probably 6,000 Rand minimum for that thing. But Nico can make it for 2,500 Rand. So if you guys are into do-it-yourself and you guys are into vaping profiles or Ejuice profiles that need steeping to be a lot quicker though, you see it. There you see it. There you see it. So what I'm going to do is just to show you the trust in this is I'm going to put it in my Exprimizer, because this is a 10 milligram free base vanilla custard which I actually made. So yeah, what did they say? Practice what you preach. So put it inside my little friend over there, and there you go. And remember, the fact that the juice changes color shows you that this guy actually did something inside. So yeah, that's the whole idea behind homogenizing your juices, is to get that uniformity a lot quicker though. Anywho, because it's constructed out of stainless steel and Teflon, it's going to be extremely easy, very simple to clean this guy, very easy. As I said, just bear in mind a few things though. Because I put this guy in at a bit of a high speed, it created a bit of bubbles though, which pushed the juice level to the top there. At the point of that second hole, above the top hole, which is supposed to release the pressure. But I pulled it out there and it didn't seem to do anything. But just bear in mind that you need to keep that second one out there, and that your juice level is going to rise when the mixing actually starts on the inside. Also remember just to heat up your VG slightly on the inside. As I said, I'd put mine in for 20 seconds, 50 mils to 100 mils. You can do that though. It's just to make it thinner though, that it homogenizes quicker. And then your nicotine to add it afterwards though, so that you do not degrade, that the oxygen which is going to be created inside this do not degrade your nicotine. But yeah, that is our first local produced South African prototype homogenizer. Thought you guys would be interested in actually checking it out. This is Kaiser signing over now. Cheers.